Hello everyone, I'm Cloud and welcome to Anime No Mi. Today we're going to talk about a new gear, a new transformation that Luffy could use from the start and would greatly increase his power, Gear 0. Luffy with his creativity is able to create several interesting abilities with his Goma Goma no Mi, which enabled him to create gears and also allowed him to create a possible final form that Luffy will use in the future. And I already count on your help to leave your like in the video to support the channel. I also hope you subscribe if you're still new here and leave your comments saying your opinions and what the next videos you want to see here on the channel. Now let's go to the video. Guys, with Goma Goma no Mi, Luffy was able to invent skills to adapt during combat, even creating ways to have some advantage. Taking advantage of the unique physical abilities granted by his fruit, Luffy invented techniques that increase his speed, stamina, and physical strength to improve his combat skill. However, each of these new abilities, which focus on just one set of attributes, also have corresponding physical disadvantages. However, there is a possibility that Luffy unites all of his gears in just one, removing all the disadvantages of the skill and keeping all the strengths, a gear that unites all gear transformations, being the primordial gear, Gear 0. Initially these skills only changed his attributes, but after the time skip, Luffy was able to further improve his skills and was able to create transformations that changed his appearance and fighting style. These skills were called gears. Initially Luffy created Gear 2, a technique in which he used his legs to pump blood throughout his body at an accelerated rate, but it also uses a lot of stored energy from his body, leaving his body exhausted, and his heart rate also being increased to levels normally impossible. Luffy is the only one in the world able to use Gear 2, as his veins are able to withstand it, as they are made of rubber. It is shown that this way, Luffy gains increased speed and strength. It is said by Rob Lucci that this ability is similar to items that increase metabolism, because your muscles are getting enough blood to do things that would otherwise be impossible. Rob Lucci also noticed that Gear 2 damages Luffy's own body, and also drastically reduces his stamina, and his life expectancy starts to decrease if used continuously. After training in the use of the Haki and improving the gear with Rayleigh, Luffy gained even more control over his Gear 2 in addition to being able to use it along with the Busashoko Haki. After the time skip, Luffy was able to destroy a pacifista with a single blow. His strength in this transformation also increased to the point where he could take down a gigantic opponent like Watatsumi with a single Goma Goma no Jet pistol. After Ace lost his life, Luffy created an ability to honor his brother. He uses his Busashoko Haki combined with Gear 2 to perform Goma Goma no Red Hawk, which causes his fist to ignite. It seems that Luffy has become much more skillful with this way of using his power, as he has been using Gear 2's attacks much more often than before the time skip. We know that also at the time he was facing Rob Lucci, he also created Gear 3, a technique in which Luffy pumps air through his bones to make them giants to attack with more force, but he drastically loses speed, becoming an easy target. We know that initially Gear 3 had a side effect. After Luffy makes the attack, his body becomes small for some time. Moreover, he wasn't as capable of using both gears at the same time as shown during the fight against Gecko Moria. However, after the time skip, everything changed completely. Luffy was able to master Gear 3's movements to use together with his Gear 2. Both powers improved, already eliminating his disadvantage in Gear 3's speed. He is also shown to be able to use Gear 2 and 3 at the same time as using Busashoko Haki, making all his attacks much more powerful. We see that until this moment, Luffy already used to unify the powers of his gears to increase the strength of each one and decrease all their disadvantages, which changed a little after the creation of his more powerful gear. During Dressrosa's arc, Luffy introduced the Gear 4, a technique he developed during the time he battled the giant animals that lived in Rizakana. Gear 4's first form is called Bound Man. In this form he gains an extremely powerful attack, capable of causing great damage to his opponent's bodies, as well as giving him the ability to fly temporarily. In this form Luffy is able to destroy any defense of his opponent, being able to strike with very heavy punches, thus being the one with the most brute strength. But this form is ineffective against very powerful opponents that have a great resistance like Big Mom and Kaido. Luffy in this transformation, even hitting several blows on them didn't cause any damage. However, this form also has a side effect, in which it makes Luffy unable to stand still on the ground and instead is constantly jumping on the spot. After the Bound Man lands on the ground, after an attack, Luffy can't control his landing due to the proportions his body takes, and so he jumps again. This way he is unable to have full control of his movements until he gets the momentum to start flying again. During his battle with Charlotte Cracker, after consuming large amounts of cookies and consequently growing in size, Luffy revealed another form of Gear 4 known as Tankman. The Tankman gives Luffy incredible durability based on the Busashoko Haki. This form further increases the power and offensive magnitude and base compression. With that, in addition to being able to withstand many blows, she even allowed Luffy to be able to throw enemies far away with the Goma Goma no cannonball. During his battle with Charlotte Katakuri, Luffy revealed another form of Gear 4 known as Snakeman. In this latest transformation, Luffy gains an increase in his speed and the ability to use Python to change the direction of his attacks, which he also possesses in his Bound Man form. However, Snakeman allows his attacks to continually accelerate for as long as they last, allowing Luffy to not only press an attack more fiercely on an opponent who would previously have been able to dodge, but also allows him to increase the attack speed and power until he finally hits his opponent. This gives him the opportunity to attack any area of an opponent with ease, so he focuses on dealing with agile opponents who specialize in dodging or who have a high level of observation haki. This form also allows Luffy to jump unimaginable heights, as shown when he jumped off a chasm in the World of Mirrors, although his ability to jump compared to the Bound Man transformation is unknown. However, because of his inability to inflate his body, Luffy's stamina is considerably lower compared to his Bound Man and Tank Man forms. When he was hurled into some structures by Katakuri, he took the impact as he normally would, instead of jumping undamaged as he would in his Bound Man transformation. Moreover, in this form he is hit by the attacks, rather than not feeling them or making them bounce. We see that these three transformations demonstrated by Luffy so far are very powerful, but as well as having many advantages, they also have great disadvantages. For Luffy to choose which gear he will use, he initially needs to analyze what kind of skill he should use against the opponent's fighting style, as using the wrong form would only give him a disadvantage in battle. And the solution for him to be able to face the most powerful opponents without having to learn or create new techniques is to modify his power just based on these three transformations presented so far. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, let's think about a possible merger between these powers, as this might be possible in the future. Luffy can adapt his body to be able to use any physical skill he has in his mind, using a simple movement, such as his punches, in several different ways, adapting according to the enemies he faces, as well as being able to adapt these skills so that they are become even more powerful. Like for example the Goma Goma no pistol, which he used as a base ability to create the Red Hawk, or even the Goma Goma no stamp, which Luffy improved to Goma Goma no stamp Gatling. If Luffy always improved his basic skills, possibly he could also improve his gears or even unite them through training or change in his strategy. After all, he has already done that, uniting Gear 2 and 3 to use in combat. This then makes Luffy able to unify the Bound Man, Tank Man and Snakeman forms into a single form, so Luffy would be extremely strong, being able to deliver heavy blows at high speed, in addition to having great physical defense that Bound Man and Tank Man provide. Another option would be to master the almost instantaneous switch between transformations, so Luffy would be able to create a form that didn't have disadvantages, making his body even similar to that of a Yonko, both in stamina and in his melee strength. As said before, the chances of this happening are quite high, even more if he manages to reach the awakening of his fruit, since Luffy has great control over his Goma Goma no Mi, so his awakening is very close. Oda is showing many characters awakening their fruits, such as Law and Kid, opening up a big possibility that in Wano or soon, Luffy would also be able to awaken his, thus further increasing the possibility that he will be able to unite his gears. But it's also worth remembering that there is a possibility that Luffy will also be able to demonstrate new transformations with totally original powers. After all, we're still waiting for the last form of Gear 4 and also Gear 5. But I want to know what you think about it. What do you think of a new union between the gears? And what shape would you like Luffy to transform into? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to leave your likes in the video to help the channel, and also subscribe if you're still new here. The channel is new and needs your help. Thank you so much for watching our video so far. Your support is very important. See you in the next video. Bye.